Welcome, one and all, to the very first edition of the KIA, or Know-It-All Cast. I don't want to call it the Know-It-All Podcast because screw you, that's why. Do I have an annoying personality? Yes. Do I care? Absolutely freaking not. What am I going to talk about? Whatever the heck I want, but mainly video games and stuff that I enjoy talking about. Is there going to be a lot of fancy editing? At the moment, no. Why? Because I don't have enough money to do that. And I also work a lot, so, you know. Sorry. But if you enjoy this, leave a like and all that jazz. I'm not going to beg for it. But yeah, let's get started. So the very first thing I want to talk about is there is a heavy rumor going around that one of the launch titles for the PS5 will be PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale 2. They need to change the name if they're going to do that. But overall, I don't think this is a bad idea. I think that if they overhauled what is essentially it's a Smash Bros. Knockoff. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. It's a Smash Bros. Knockoff. But it could be a very good one if they retooled it from the ground up, because the first one wasn't very good. I know it had its fans, but be that as it may, what it was sorely lacking, besides having consistently good gameplay, because you have people with better special moves than others, yada yada, is a good roster. Sony didn't really dig deep to get the roster that they did. They had like Big Daddy in there and Fat Princess, and they just didn't dig deep into their library, their back catalog. So I came up with a list of 31 people that I would like to see in this reboot, we'll call it, because it's not going to be a sequel. It's just going to be a reboot, let's be honest. Now, do I think all these could happen? All but two. And the two I'm thinking of you already know of. Now, the reason I think that Sony could get these two is because Nintendo's already proven that they can get some wildly insane characters if they really try, as far as their Smash Bros. Series and the DLC. And we know the DLC is going to be around for a while. They just announced that they're going to do 5 more, so there's 6 more at least that we don't know about. And there's 2 that Sony needs to not let go to Nintendo if they're doing this. That's a big if. It's not been confirmed, but let's pretend like it has. So those 2 are Crash and Spyro. Easily, they could get these. I don't think there'd be any problem with them getting Crash and Spyro. Besides the money deal. The money deal being that they probably have to pay a lot. And I have a feeling that Nintendo's scrambling for them too. Now, could they go to both series? Sure. But I don't think that they would really like to share the spotlight with their characters. That's just my theory. So, it's Crash and Spyro. The first 2 obvious ones, let's get them out of the way. Now, from there on, some of these will be obvious, some of them will be returning characters, but some of them won't be. So the remaining 29. I first think that they should do a Bloodborne Hunter-Huntress. You know, it's alternate skins, Hunter-Huntress, and you've got a Bloodborne character in there. It would be really cool because it's automatically going to be more mature-themed because of who Sony is. Have something in there with the saw cleaver and all that. I think the moveset, I'm not going to sit here and talk about movesets for each one. You guys have imaginations, you'll get it. But I think that with that one, it's pretty obvious. Next one that we knew that they were going to do for DLC, but they chickened out on, was Dart from the Legend of Dragoon series. I think that would be an awesome addition because Dart's cool, has the ability to transform into a dragon. What's not to like? Nathan Drake obviously should return, but I think that a more fitting set of characters that they could put in there besides Nathan Drake would be Joel and Ellie. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I don't like The Last of Us. I beat it, but I don't like it. If you like it, great. I'm glad you liked it. I beat the whole thing, so I can say overall I just didn't enjoy it that much. But that's another video for another day. Be that as it may, I still think they should be represented. Joel and Ellie should be in there. Another alternate skin thing, or even separate characters. Make this a list of 32. Sir Daniel Fortescue should come back. Medieval's coming out in October. It's going to be in the public consciousness again. That's an absolutely obvious one. Spike should come back. There's no doubt about it. Sweet Tooth should come back. Dante should come back, but just make it the original Dante, because that makes sense with PlayStation's history. I know I'm going fast through some of these, but I don't need to rehash stuff that was already there. Obviously, give them all better moves and a more consistent set of moves, kind of like Smash, instead of having different controls for them or whatever it was. It wasn't really well done. Obviously, Cole McGrath should come back, but good evil Cole should be a skin swap. It should be an Echo Fighter, nothing else. Sly Cooper, definitely come back. Sackboy should come back. I think that those are definite must-haves. Kratos should obviously come back, but this should be bearded Kratos. We should definitely have bearded Kratos over non-bearded Kratos, and he can have the axe or the other weapons. Now, here's where I'm going to get interesting. I'm taking a look at my list that's just beyond that over there, and I'm not seeing... yes, Parappa the Rapper, definitely, should come back. Other than that, I'm not seeing any other ones that were in there that they didn't... I'm not seeing any other ones that would be returning characters. So here's a bunch of new ones that I think that they should have. Number one is Astrobot. Yes, I know it's a PlayStation VR game, but brings awareness to the PSVR game, and you have a cute little robot going around smashing up Sweet Tooth. What's not to love? Next should be Cat from Gravity Rush. That would be an awesome addition, having her gravity abilities. She'd be kind of like Mewtwo in my mind, where it's kind of floaty and goes around the screen. I really think that would be an awesome addition. PlayStation's just got a lot of strong female characters in there. Speaking of which, the next one should be Narike. I don't remember how to pronounce her name, from Heavenly Sword. I know it's not necessarily in the public consciousness, but bring her back. I mean, put her in there. It's a franchise you own. Why not have it? Now, Aloy is another strong female character that I should have in there. Aloy is an awesome character. 100% should be in there. No doubt about it. No question about it. I think an odd one that they should add would be Knack. Now, I know a lot of people hated Knack, and I don't think it's a good game. But be that as it may, it definitely is a Sony franchise. It's had 2 games, and I think the ability to grow and shrink and all that would be an interesting dynamic for a fighting game. So I think Knack should have a little bit of representation. Eco and Wanderer. Now, Eco is from, obviously, Eco. Wanderer is from Shadow of the Colossus, and maybe the boy from The Last Guardian, though I don't think that one needs to be in there. And I think those should be Echo Fighters, Eco and Wanderer. I think Wanderer's got the sword, Eco's got the stick. It really fits. The boy from Last Guardian doesn't really fit, unless you really want to have the boy running around with a miniature tree coat, which would be adorable, but don't necessarily need that. Now, here's an odd one that I did not realize that Sony owned. I know it was a PSP exclusive, but it would be really interesting if they added Jeanne d'Arc, which is based upon Joan of Arc. But Jeanne d'Arc was this high fantasy version of Joan of Arc's life, and it was really freaking good. It's a tactical RPG. I absolutely adored it, and she was able to turn into like an angel almost. It's been a while since I played it, but I think that would be a very interesting addition to the roster. Puppeteer, I think, would be a very interesting one as well, because if you don't remember, Puppeteer was a 2D side-scrolling platformer that had this puppet show. If anyone remembers this from The Sound of Music, where they do the little puppet show, it almost has that aesthetic of that kind of puppet show. And it would be, I don't remember if he carries big scissors or not, but I mean, there's definitely something that you can work with there. You got small characters like Parappa and Sackboy. They could definitely work it. Patapon. There was representation in the first game as a background element for Patapon and Loco Roco. Loco Roco doesn't really fit, but Patapon could almost be like Mr. Game & Watch, where it kind of cycles through. Here's a spear, here's this, here's that. It would be a very interesting character to play, and I think it would almost be, like I said, they're Mr. Game & Watch. Now, here's where we're going to get a little obscure. Genji from the Dawn of Samurai and I can't remember the name of the other Genji game, but there was two of these. One on PS2 and one on PS3. They were both great third-person action games. I know Sony does this all the time. And I just thought of another one on a side note, Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding. That would be an interesting character to add as well. But back to Genji. Genji would be awesome to add. Reason being is because it's a freaking samurai. Do I need to see more? Say more. See more. I obviously need to see more, but do I need to say more? More obscure, they own the Mark of Kree series. It's on the PS4 as far as a PS2 game that you can buy in HD. Bring in Kree from Mark of Kree. That'd be pretty cool. Another small character that I think that they could really benefit from having in there, Tearaway's main character. Do I remember his name? I absolutely do not. So we'll say Tearaway from Tearaway, the little paper cutout guy. It'd go great with Parappa the Rapper and could have some interesting abilities like, you know, on the Vita, you were able to put your fingers through the not through the back screen, but through the touch screen, and then your fingers appeared in the world. I mean, there's a lot of interesting dynamics that you could play with that. They have the Wild Arms series. I think that Wild Arms is a series with a lot of anime-ish characters, but I think they're unique enough that they could stand out. I'd say the main character from the first game would definitely have some nice representation. I know that they stopped around the PS2. I don't think there was even a PS3 game either in Japan. Could be wrong on that, but I think a character from Wild Arms would be interesting, but if you took that out of there, we'd be down to 30 characters, back up to 31 with Sam Porter Bridges. You following all this? The final one I will add that they definitely should add in now is the character from Sunset Overdrive. Sony just bought Insomniac. They can't put Spider-Man in there. Yes, they've got Sly Cooper from Insomniac, or was that done by Sucker Punch? That was done by Sucker Punch. So they got Ratchet and Clank from Insomniac, excuse me. So Sunset Overdrive, bring in the main character. He's got that crazy grenade gun. He could summon zombies as like that would be kind of a cool shield attack. Summon zombies in front of you. I know he doesn't summon zombies, but whatever. It's a fighting game. They do stupid crap all the time. Summon zombies, boom, shield wall breaks down. Kind of neat. So that would be my wish list roster. If you have any that you think I missed, please add it down below. Yes, you could say a car from Gran Turismo. The reason being is there has been a car in a fighting game before. It was on the Sega Saturn. It was the Daytona USA car. You could play as it. I think it was Fighters Mega Mix that you could play as that car. So they could add in a Gran Turismo car. Would it be stupid? Yes. Hence why I didn't include it in my initial list. But like I said, add any you want in the comments down below. I've been Commander Kronk on this KIA cast. And yeah, I'm going to stop doing that because I think that went out of style in the 90s. I don't know. But if you enjoy this video, leave a like. Thanks for stopping by and watching this. I'll have more content out as the weeks go on.